Alrighty guys, I'm going to do the tutorial for week 8. I'm going to share my screen here. To share. Alrighty. So this is the Moodle page. We have a drawing called points-2 and then a PDF called week 8. Alrighty. The week 8 PDF is the instructions. Basically what we're going to do with this drawing is we're going to create a surface. Basically, we import points. Well, this drawing actually already has the points imported, but we're going to open up this drawing with points in it, and we're going to add these survey points to a surface, and basically it's going to act like, well, it's going to be a 3D surface, basically. And AutoCAD is going to interpolate the lines between the points to create contour lines. Kind of like how we were doing a few weeks back with the elevations. So basically the contour lines are connecting points of equal elevation. And that's how your topo maps are made, and that's what we're going to do with these points, these survey points. Alrighty. So we're going to create a surface, and then the next thing we're going to do is actually create an alignment. We played with alignments in the past a little bit. Basically an alignment is just a measuring tool to, mark distances. All right. And in my class, we always want to start with an alignment with 10 plus a pair. So then you have wiggle room if you need to move the alignment back from the beginning. You have 1,000 feet to play with without having to go into negative numbers. All right. And after we make our alignment, we're going to actually create a profile. So if you think of like the surface of the earth, like a loaf of bread, basically our profile view would be like slicing our loaf of bread and then looking at our slice, and then you can see what's on the inside and what the shape of it is. All right. So basically that's just the short description of what we're going to do. So when you open this guy up, you will see there is a bunch of survey points. All righty. These are all survey points, and they have different descriptions. These are ground shots. There's some other ones that are, it looks like a curb and a road, stuff like that. All right. So what we're going to do is going to actually create a surface. All right. So go up here on the home tab to surfaces and then hit create surface. All righty. And just leave all this stuff the same value and then just hit OK. And now you'll see in this tool space tab here on the left that we can expand this surfaces thing right here, the tree. So now we have the surface we just created. It's just called surface 1. That's the default name. All right. And we can also expand these point groups. The drawing that we opened had 2 different point groups. There's the storm manholes point group and the detention pond point group and the all points point group. Alrighty. So when you expand surfaces, expand surface 1, the one we just created, expand definition, and you will see the point groups here. So you can right click on point groups and hit add. Basically, we're just going to add these point groups that are already in the drawing. So just hit all points to our surface. All right. So just hit OK. And then you'll see all these fancy lines just showed up. Basically, this green line on the outside is the boundary. And these gray lines in the middle are actually the contour lines. So the closer the contour lines are together, the steeper your surface is. You can see on the bottom, it's really steep because the lines are really close together. The elevation changes quickly. Yeah. Alrighty. So if you wanted to change the style of your surface, you can right click, or you can select one of the contour lines, go to surface properties. And then, so basically these major and minor contour lines are set on this style, which is 2 feet and 10 feet. All right. So basically every 2 feet we have a lighter colored line, and every 10 feet we have a darker colored line, our major and minor. And these are just ones that are associated with this drawing, all these different styles. So if we wanted more lines, we can go with 1 and 5. You should see twice as many lines, right? So, yep. then you have more definition of, your contours. But I mean, you don't really have to do that for this assignment. Let's just bring it back to how it was, the 1 and 10, or 2 and 10, I mean. 2 and 10 background. Ready? So it should look like that. So if you actually want to find a specific point, which is what we want to do, you can go up to your points and select all points, and you'll see on the bottom of your tool space here, you can adjust this little dude right here, and you can literally see every point listed in like a little window that kind of looks like Excel. It's a little spreadsheet kind of deal. All right. Basically, we want to find a couple of these points and connect them together with a polyline to know where we want to slice our surface. Let me see. And we want to find the point 22 and the point 1769. All right. So let's scroll down to 22 here in this bottom window. You can right click on the point and hit zoom to. There's point number 22. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a polyline. I'm going to turn on my node snap. Node is just basically a survey point is considered a node, so you can snap to your survey point. I'm just going to draw it out here, just as a little flag to know where 22 is. All right. And then the next one, I believe, is 1769. Yep. So you can do the same strategy. You can scroll down to 1769. And then when you find it, right click on it, 1769. Yep, right there, right click and zoom to, all right, 1769. All right, polyline, make sure your node snaps on, select 1769, the survey point right there. All right. And that one. Okay. I'm going to delete this first polyline that we made because we don't need it anymore. All right. So basically that is our polyline that we want to, slice our bread with, all right, to see what the profile looks like on that line, if we were to cut it on that line. All righty. So if yours doesn't look like this, you may need to turn layers on or off to make things show up. One thing that we probably want to do right off the bat is actually select one of these survey points. All right, right click and hit select similar. All right, and then it selects all of the survey points. All right, and then what we can do, okay, they're on the vNode layer. I guess we don't need to change the layer. They're already good. Just want to double check that all of our layers are on the right ones. We want the survey points to be on vNode or a similar layer. So since they're good, we don't have to change them. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is go alignment, create alignment from objects, just like we did the previous week, right? And then select our alignment, hit enter, and you will see our arrow. If the arrow is pointing down, just hit enter. If it's pointing up, hit R, and then enter to make the arrow point down, all right? So we wanted to go from the top down. So enter, starting station, 10 plus a pair, right? We want our wiggle room of 1,000 feet if we ever needed to change something. Let me double check what style I wanted this to be on. Proposed best, all right. So change this guy to proposed best. You can uncheck this guy. And yep, okay. And then hit OK. There it is. There's the alignment. Alrighty. Alrighty. So what we can do now is actually create our profile view. So hit Profile, create Surface Profile. Alrighty. This is the alignment we just created. This is the surface we created previously. So we want to combine both of these things together and create a profile view. So we have our surface 1 surface and hit this add button and it should pop up down here. And then hit this draw in profile view symbol or button and change the profile view style to best. And then hit create profile view. And now it's just asking you, where do you want to put this grid? I'm gonna just put it over on the side. There it is. All right. So basically this is our profile. This is our slice of bread when we cut our surface, all right? As you can see, there's a really steep hill right here, which really makes sense because here at the end we have a bunch of contour lines, right? It's really steep. It goes up and then it goes back down, right? So that makes perfect sense. And the cool thing about this is, since we're using Civil 3D, everything is dynamic. So if I were to change my alignment, let's just move it over here for a sec for the sake of an example. All right. These station labels change automatically and the profile view changes automatically. So that is the magic of using Civil 3D, is that everything is dynamic. All right. So I'm going to undo that and bring it back to the points we want. All right. So what we can see here is we have our stations on the bottom and the top, right? And you can find out exactly what the elevation is at all these points, right? So, yep. And this thing on the bottom here, basically, this thing is defined as a band. So basically, it's just part of the labeling system and the labeling style here. So what you can do with these bands, like let's say we want to flatten this out, right? So we're gonna hire a contractor to go out there and remove some dirt, move dirt around, get rid of this big hill, flatten everything out so you can put a building on it, right? So then you would have another profile, maybe your proposed ground profile. And so these bands would be, one would be referenced to your existing ground profile and the other one would be referenced to your proposed ground profile. So these numbers would differ, all right? Right now they're assigned to the same profile because we only have one. We only have our one surface, okay? So that's why these numbers are pretty much the same. One's just rounded to a different, integer. All right, so what we can do for the sake of this assignment is actually just get rid of the bands. So just select one of these grid lines, go to Profile View Properties, go to this Bands tab right here. And you can see right here, so Profile 1 and Profile 2, they're both referencing to the same surface. Like as I was saying, there's only one surface we have right now. So that's why those numbers are the same, all right? But for now, we can just remove that band. So just select this guy, hit X to remove, and then apply, and then boom, it goes away, all right? So now I want to show you how to set up a plan and profile view on your layout tab, all right? So what we're gonna do is actually hit this plus to create, actually don't hit the plus. Right click on one of your layout tabs, hit from template, alrighty? Now it's finding a template file or looking for a template file, and we want to find the template file we made back in week 2, all right? So go to your H drive, alrighty, fall 2020, week 4, John Doe template. You should find one with your name, obviously, not John Doe, not my name either. And then hit OK. Now it's asking you which layout tab do you want to import, all right? So let's just import the 11 by 17, all right? Hit OK, and then you should see a pop up down here on the bottom. So now we have our layout tab, our title block and all that fun stuff from our template. So it should have your name right here, right? First thing we're gonna do is actually delete this viewport, all right? So select that guy, delete, all right? Next thing we're gonna do is type in menu bar and change this value to 1. And you'll see that we have another menu bar pop up here on the top. The reason why you need that is because we need this view, not that view, okay? This view doesn't have the tools we want. We want to use this view toolbar and then go to viewports to viewports, all right? Now it's asking you how you wanted to split them. So we want to split them horizontally. So click on that guy and just start up here. You don't really need to have your O snap on. They might throw you off a bit. Let's just go from here down to the other corner, right there. So since I selected 2 viewports, it should technically create 2 viewports. And it looks like it did. Come on. Alrighty. All right, so there's our two viewports. Okay. So on this top viewport, what I'm going to do is actually viewport freeze our vNode layer. So double click in your viewport, go to the home tab, go to your layers, go down to your vNode layer, and then this third icon is our viewport freeze. So click on that guy. And then you can actually zoom in and select one of these guys, find out what layer it's on. vNode stream, all right? We're gonna have viewport freeze on that one too. All right, so we literally just have the alignment and the surface. It's the only thing we want at this moment, okay? So now we have our plan view, and this one, we want to zoom into our profile view, okay? So let's find a scale that works. It's gotta be an from 1 to 6, because 7, 8, 9, or 150, those ones will not work with our engineer scale. So it's got to be an interval of 1 through 6. So it could be 10, it could be 100, it could be 1,000, but it's got to be, you know, an interval of 1 through 6, not 7. We're not in between. So let's see what 60 looks like. That's too much. 1 inch equals. Oh, that's way too far. All right, let's try 100. 100? Getting closer, for sure. Yeah. Oh. Let's try 200. Okay, 200 is still. Let's go back to 100. Maybe 100 we can make it work. 100? All right. And let's lock this viewport. Double click to go back into paper space, or you can hit PS, enter. And let's actually drag this viewport boundary out a bit. Let's see if we can. Yep, okay, now our numbers are showing on that side. Let's see if we can make them show up on this side. Oh, no, yeah, that's not gonna work. So let's try, the next scale that works is actually 200, so it's gonna be a bit small. But that's the only one that'll work with our engineer scale. All right, so 200. Hand this guy down. And I'm going to change my viewport boundary back in here. All right, so we have our plan and our profile. The only thing that we want to do now really is actually rotate this view. So what you can do is you can use the align space command. So type in align space. All right, so now it's asking you for 2 lines in your model space, and they'll ask you for 2 points in your model space, and they'll ask you for 2 points in your paper space to align those with. Okay, I'm gonna turn my OSNAP on, and I'm going to actually turn nearest snap on. All right, and I'm just gonna select anywhere on this green line starting towards the 10 side, because we want that on the left, because on our profile view, the 10 is on the left, okay? So click anywhere close to 10, and you can click anywhere really, as long as it's on this green line, and it's going towards, you know, an increasing number. And now it's asking you the first line in paper space. What I'm gonna do is just click on the top of the viewport. We know that this line is straight and it's flat, so the other corner of the viewport, and then hit enter. Enter. Alrighty. And when I double click in here, I want to set this to the same scale. So let's try 200. And when you change the viewport scale, it should scale the text also. Okay. And the next step would be we actually want to align up these station numbers in both viewports, okay? So what you can do is just draw a line in paper space. So let's just draw a line right here at 17 plus pair, straight up. Alrighty. So now we know that 17 plus pair should be lined up with this line. So we can double click in here to go into this viewport, unlock it, and be careful not to scroll or else you'll screw up your scale. So just pan over and line up our 17 with the other 17 and lock the viewport. There you go. So then you can add your scale bar. Enter, oh, whoops, not. Yeah, let me do that again. Okay, scale bar, viewport. Now type in 200 feet. Okay. Place it over here, north arrow. And then you can assign that to your viewport and it should automatically rotate. See how it's rotated? Because Civil 3D knows where north is and knows that you rotated the view, so it changes it automatically. All right, we got our scale, we got our north arrow. Now you just got to change this guy to say the correct stuff. So make sure it's your name, week 8, enter the scale. So this guy is 200 feet, correct? Yeah. Week 8. All right. And this would be sheet 1. Sheet 1. Just like that. And if you think that this looks kind of funny, it really does because it's kind of small. What you could do is actually, I mean, if you wanted it to be perfect, you could set this up on a letter size tab and it might work better. That may be what I told you to do in the instructions. But if you did it how I do it, I won't count it against you because that's how I did it with the 11 by 17. But it might actually fit better with the letter. But if you wanted to have another version with the letter, you can just do the same steps, right click from template, go find your template. Right. Week 4, John Doe template, open. And then go find the letter. Okay. There it is, letter. Right. And yep, do the same steps, make your 2 viewports. And one tip that I should probably mention is that when you make your viewports, it will put it on the current layer, right? So we want to have our viewports on the layer called def points. Because using AutoCAD, def points is a layer that won't ever print, okay? So put your viewports on def points if you don't want to box around your viewports, okay? Show def points. So you can see them, they're not frozen, but when you go to print, they won't print. So I'm gonna just, let's just try this guy, preview. See, they're not gonna print. But yeah, yours will probably look different if you actually use, you know, the printer at the college, the SM135, the format will be correct. This one's kind of offset. But yeah, that's how you do it. You print it off with your name, your scale, your north arrow, make sure everything's aligned up. And that's pretty much it for week 8. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully that's helpful.